Well, the average cost of a ticket to the movies in the United States is just over $6. Getting your hands on some movie memorabilia is a whole different story, however. A signed photo of Tom Cruise, for example, it's going to cost you $150, quite a bit more than paying to see him on the big screen. We're joined now by Daniel Cohen, author of the official price guide to movie autographs and memorabilia. He joins us from, well, my hometown, Toronto. Good to see you, Daniel.
Nice to see you, Ollie. How you doing?
Toronto's a good movie town, actually. It's a great place for this kind of stuff because a lot of these movie stars hang out there and you can get things signed. And I suppose this is like, I guess this is more like sports memorabilia than it is like comic books in that where something is from and maybe who it's signed by or who owned it, it becomes important in movie memorabilia.
Absolutely. I think the number one issue is provenance, authenticity. It's unquestionable. It's the most important thing when it comes especially to celebrity autographs.
What is the mainstay of movie memorabilia? Where's the biggest money? And I don't mean necessarily per item, but is it posters? Is it tickets? What is it?
It ranges on the type of item. Record posters have sold for upwards of $400,000 at auction. Original props and wardrobe from films have sold for in the same range of about $400,000. Those are really the high-ticket items.
And there's an Oscar. I didn't know you could sell your Oscars for money, but there's an Oscar. I guess that's about the most expensive thing that's sold.
Yeah, and you really don't want to be buying and selling Oscars because the Academy actually is right now trying to stop the sale of Oscars. Anything that predates a 1940 Oscar is able to be sold, but anything after that has to be returned to the Academy.
All right, we've got on the screen there the slippers, the ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz, $662,000. Right. The poster from The Mummy, $450,000.
Right.
What are some of the other things? Wizard of Oz is actually one of those. Is it because the movie has such mystique that stuff from The Wizard of Oz is valuable? Absolutely.
It's one of those classics that's lived on. It's touched many generations. In fact, I have a piece of memorabilia here with me from The Wizard of Oz. This item is an amazing item. It's an original script that was used during the editing of the film, and it was owned by Jack Haley, who was the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the only scripts from the film.
Is that handwritten? It looks like it's handwritten almost.
No, it's just it's old mimeograph pages.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And they've actually stood the test of time pretty well. What's unique about this piece is that there's scenes in there that were actually edited out of the film, so it's quite an interesting look at that.
Director's cut, the uncut version.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, the unique piece about something like this would be the fact that it came from the Jack Haley estate, so the provenance is undeniable.
Again, no point in me collecting Wizard of Oz stuff if I've got no interest in the Wizard of Oz. I mean, this is not a stock where there's an average return on something. I mean, I might be able to land that book, but fundamentally, you kind of have to like this stuff too.
Absolutely. Well, to buy that script, it would cost you about $25,000. So unless it was something that you really loved, speculating in the marketplace is very, very difficult. It's impossible to predict things that are going to continue to grow in value. That way, we always tell collectors to really collect things that really mean something to them.
You're sandwiched by a conversation about comic books, and on the other side we're going to talk about sports collectibles, both very well established with obvious places to go to begin the collection, to get things authenticated, to get things restored and protected. In the movie memorabilia world, where do you go?
It really depends on the type of item. If you have an old poster, there are poster restorers who will actually go and take the acid content out of the paper, which is actually the most troublesome thing in a movie poster. There are specialists in different cities. In my book, I actually reference quite a number of them. You can also contact local museums in your town that might have somebody that deals in that area as well.
And as an investment over time, is there a number that you can attach to the appreciation or the average appreciation of movie memorabilia, or is that too hard to do?
It's a little bit difficult. Generally, the really rare, unique, one-of-a-kind things from classics have traditionally done the best over time. It's really a case of supply and demand, and anything that is really in demand and obviously very limited in supply is going to do the best.
Daniel Cohen, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Ali.
Daniel Cohen's the author of the official price guide to movie autographs and memorabilia, joining us from Toronto. Still to come, are the collectibles of all-stars worth more than other players? We're going to have a look at items from perennial baseball all-star Barry Bonds and others. And later,